we really want to ensure that all women who are pretty much between the ages of 35 and 65 are experiencing either perimenopause, menopause, or even postmenopause. And we want to ensure that these women, they are prepared ahead of time. And if you're already in your menopausal journey or even in your postmenopausal journey, there are things you can still consider and do. So we're going to talk about that. It's really talking about evidence-based facts through this journey of life. We as women spend 1/3 of our lives in this menopause phase, just in case you didn't know. So why should we suffer? Why not thrive in this phase when we have solutions and alternatives available? We want to touch upon those symptoms, the health impacts, the treatment options, and really make sure that you thrive for life. Our approach just makes sure that this is not medical advice. Always consult a doctor because their advice should be what you should be going with. However, we are imparting a lot of knowledge. So use that as your first step forward. And more than anything else, we really want to ensure this becomes a safe space for women to talk, to come together, to do away with the stigma around menopause, and to make sure that you have a community of women supporting you, thinking with you, and ensuring that there are solutions available for this phase of life. Moving to the next slide. So अक्सर पूछते हैं ये सिर्फ मुझे ही हो रहा है, is it just me, am I tired every morning, what is happening with my weight? I mean, even I have gone through those challenges like almost every single day in my perimenopausal journey, because I'm not doing anything different, I'm not eating extra, I'm working out. Why is that weight of mine not moving? Why am I perpetually anxious? Is there something wrong with me? कभी भी उठ जाती हूँ, 2 बजे उठ जाती हूँ, 3 बजे उठ जाती हूँ. Like, is something wrong? No, it's not you. You're either perimenopausal or menopausal, and this is a very, very common state of life that you will be going through. Because, like I said, women spend 1/3 of their lives in menopause, but has anyone ever prepared for it? Our mothers and grandmothers didn't know how to deal with this. So, how are they going to prepare us for this? We are preparing our girls for puberty. We have a plethora of information for women on pregnancy, but on menopause, no, because it's still such a taboo. It is still such an unserved area. And we want to make sure that we address this situation. Next slide. The need for this conversation, believe it or not, 1 billion women in the world are globally in menopause. And it can be women who are active, they are very strong in their work lives, they are reaching significant success. And it can be even women who are at home. They're not only taking care of their younger kids, but they also have adults to take care of. They have to be physically fit, they have to be mentally sound to be able to go through this journey. So we want to make sure that we arrive at the situation of menopause not confused but informed, and we do away with this confusion and talk about facts as we go ahead. Next slide. Um, why do we want to have this open discussion? So there is a lot of stigma. We already know that. We go to our doctor's office, you'll go to your OB's office. You will see that when you bring it up, they really marginalize it, or they will say, Arey, ye to bahut natural hai, sab jate hain, everyone is going through this. Why are you so worried? Your mother went through this, your grandmother. हो जाएगा, you'll get through these symptoms, take this is a very short term thing for either depression or for your hot flashes. They're not attacking the root cause of this, they're not providing you a long term solution for this. So we want to ensure that, one, this is more spoken about, there's actual awareness of the situation, and we want to support the long term well being for you. We want to make sure there are supporting environments, organizations that actually support menopause care and help you through this journey. And we, many of us are working women. We go through these physical and emotional changes in our life, and that is bound to impact our work because it impacts our sleep, our moods, our job performance. I mean, you have top tier women who 1 in 5 women actually start doubting themselves. They are not sure how they're going to perform at work, and they actually consider resigning, which should never happen. Do men ever think like that? Never. Even if they're honestly going through any symptoms, they would never consider doubting themselves. So we shouldn't either, because we have solutions available. We want to ensure that everyone is thriving. Going to the next slide. So let's understand menopause at the root. What is menopause? When do women go through it? So if you go to the next slide, the first understanding is आपको menopause hit कब करता है. It's really, it's a phase where 12 months you have not had your menstrual period. That's when your reproductive years, when you can actually bear a child, is getting over. Again, it's not a disease, it's not an illness, it's just a biological transition of your body. And this is universal. It happens to every woman. You're not unique. I'm not unique. We all go through this. And the average age when women generally start hitting in India, it's a little early. Indian women go through this around age 46, but it can occur anywhere between 45 and 58 years. And the most fundamental reason why menopause happens is because we have these hormones that are driving this decline. The two main hormones that we talk about are estrogen and progesterone. And you'll hear doctors talk, oh, ये सब hormonal हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. क्या हो रहा है? What are these hormones doing? So these two hormones that are key, estrogen and progesterone, they significantly decline in this phase. And that's why you'll see your moods go up, you'll see various hot flashes happening, and it's just not to that. You have a lot more symptoms that we'll talk about. And this affects your physical, mental being, and even emotionally. I mean, sometimes I used to cry at the drop of a hat. So it puts women at long-term health risks. And who I would say 100% of these women worldwide are affected, and that's really a 1.1 billion number, which is going to be by end of this year. So going to the next slide. What are the stages of menopause? Again, the next one. The very first stage is really premenopause. Those are your thriving years. It's from your teens, so when you actually start getting your periods, to your late 30s, early 40s, when you have a strong reproductive cycle, estrogen levels are the highest, your progesterone's normal, you get your regular periods, full fertility, you can bear children, you really don't have any of these menopausal symptoms. You're able to produce your ovaries, uterine lining sheds on a monthly basis. So it's just all very happy-go-lucky state where you're able to lose weight when you really want to. Everything happens in the right way. But on the next slide, we enter the perimenopausal stage. So that is anywhere, and women are surprised when they hear this. It can start as early as 35, generally, and it can go on for several years before you actually hit menopause. So that's why if you are alert, if you understand what your body is going through, you can actually take action. Women don't think that at 35, oh, I'll be perimenopausal. Huh, it can. We have women who also go through menopause at 40. So you can go through this perimenopausal stage, and this is the transition phase where your hormones start fluctuating, where estrogen declines, progesterone declines. You'll start seeing irregular periods, thoda spotting hoga, raat ko neend nahi aayegi. The biggest thing that you hear, right? I'm drenched in sweat. I'm having a lot of hot flashes. What do I do? Mood swings. I mean, we've all heard our husbands say that, yaar, kitni tu moody ho gayi hai. Why do you keep getting angry at the drop of our hats? It's our hormones. They have really fluctuated, and they're really creating a lot of unhappy situations for us. Another one, big one, which was for me too, vaginal dryness. We want to ensure that you don't go through that vaginal dryness, your sex life is not impacted, because once these hormones really decline, this does happen. So you want to ensure that eventually there is some action taken. Physical changes, you'll see heavier, lighter periods. It keeps moving. You have breast tenderness. Your weight changes. I think that sticks out with every woman. You know, that weight at the gut. वो तो कभी कम ही नहीं हो रहा है. What do I do? Again, this is all related to perimenopause. So moving to the next slide, we'll see that in menopause, it's confirmed retroactively, basically when You have 12 consecutive months when you've not had a period. That is when you hit menopause. Like I said, it's defined for women in India, it's age 46. It's women in India tend to get it much earlier. Usually the worldwide number average, and even in the US, it's around 51, but it can happen anywhere from 45 to 58. The symptoms, the biggest ones are your hot flashes. But what we don't realize as women, we see all these short term changes in our body, but we also have long term effects. When estrogen and progesterone declines and your other hormones, it totally impact the system. It impacts your bones, it impacts your heart health, your urinary urgency. You see a lot of UTI, which you never knew. I never thought that UTI was associated with this. Your vaginal dryness, it's all related to this hormonal changes. Moving to the next slide, where we have a post-menopause phase. So you'll go to your doctor, you'll go to your OB, they'll give you probably some medication to overcome these short-term situations that you're going through, these short-term phases. It helps lighten the hot flashes, your mood changes. You suddenly feel, oh, I'm like a new person. Have you ever thought of these long-term effects that happen when you are constantly having this decline in estrogen and progesterone? What happens is it impacts your bone health, your cardiovascular health, your vaginal health, and most importantly, even your brain. It starts working at a much lower level, brain fog. I mean, I have gone through so much of that at work that it's incredible. So that's why you'll see our mothers, right? They shrink. Our grandmothers, they shrink क्योंकि उनकी mass कम हो गई है, bone कम हो गई है. So naturally, it is going to impact these reductions. So we need to ensure that not only short term, but your long term focus also happens. So moving on to the next slide. um, why are we as women struggling? क्योंकि एक तो awareness बहुत कम है. लोगों को समझता नहीं है. And I think one, women don't understand, but it's also very important that men understand this. They are supporting these women of the houses. Kids understand this. It's very limited, and our doctors don't even understand this. Even OBs, they are taught probably 2 or 3 hours in their entire curriculum to menopause. This is such an underserved area that we have to now take steps to make sure that this is talked about and this is no longer a stigma. There's often misdiagnosis क्योंकि बोल देते हैं सिम्टम्स तो है, अरे ये तो नॉर्मल एजिंग है, ये डिप्रेशन हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है, वो हो सकता है. नहीं, it is not stress, it is not depression, it is menopause. And because of that, because we don't get help in good time, we actually miss out on comprehensive treatments. And because of that, we actually miss out on being enjoying this best phase of life where we have our kids done, they're settled, they're married, we have our time with our spouses, we can travel, we can have fun. Why are we not thriving? Why shouldn't we thrive? We should be thriving in this phase and have solutions to encounter this. Going to the next slide. So, what are some of these symptoms of menopause? And this is where, going to the next slide, I really want to touch upon some of these because this hit me closely. It hit Swati very closely. And she will talk about this. But some of the symptoms, this started actually, I am 45. I became perimenopausal 2 years ago. I had no clue that this was related to perimenopause. First, my hair started falling. I thought pehle water hoga. We were traveling, maybe it may be related to that, or maybe I'm not taking pills. I just didn't understand. Then there were a few things that happened. I started getting bunion pain. वो जो हम के toe के नीचे out projection होता है, life में कभी नहीं हुआ. Then I started breaking out acne. Never in my life did I have it. Then my sex drive started reducing. So one thing started happening after another, but the biggest one that hit me was brain fog. I was at work. I used to forget things. I had to make sure I write things, I record things. I'm at a good position at work. I cannot be performing like this. All these changes started happening. It really started impacting me, bothering me. And that's when I met Swati. I started discussing. तब जाके चमका, oh my god, I am perimenopausal. No one, not even my doctors. When I went for my regular OB visit, I went to my regular GP. No one said this could be menopausal because I actually did bring up these situations. They are themselves not aware. What are they going to tell me? So
Yes.
there are various symptoms. So I maybe went through 7 8 of them in this 2 year journey, and I'm just perimenopausal. I still have a long way to go, and I decided this is not happening with me. I need to make sure that I can take action so that I can have a better next few years. मैं ऐसे तो नहीं जी सकती. So some of the symptoms you may think, you may relate to, you have the vasomotor ones, which are, you can get hot flashes, night sweats, kabhi thand lag rahi hai, kabhi garmi lag rahi hai, it's very chilly, heart palpitations. I mean, sometimes you think, am I having a heart attack? No, it's really part of your menopausal journey. The biggest one for me, brain fog, your neurological one. People don't even think, they don't even realize migraines. I mean, suddenly you've developed a migraine, it is because suddenly it's happening, your estrogen levels have declined. Migraines become a huge part of this journey. Dizziness, your tingling sensations. I do have these tingling sensations once in a while. And tinnitus, we have never thought about this. Yes, this is again part of your menopausal journey. Psychological ones, anxiety and depression. कुछ भी हो जाए, doctors put you on antidepressant pills. That's not how we deal with this. That is a very short term solution. That is not going to help you in the long term. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. Irritability, wo to, I think our biggest respondents to that will be our husbands, because we do get very antsy. We do get very irritable at home. At the drop of a hat, I spark. And my kids see that. And do I enjoy this? No. But is it in my control? No, either, because it's my hormones that are playing a big role in this. Loss of confidence. Yes, I did lose my confidence at work when I was going through these brain fog stages, which I did not understand. I did not follow कि मुझे ये क्यों हो रहा है. How can I suddenly start forgetting things? How can I suddenly have a decline in performance? Panic attacks not happen to me, but very common in this situation. Muscle and joint pains, though, very common. And it's commonly tagged as old age. No, that is not the scenario. Commonly, this is associated with menopause. Urinal urgency, I had a lot of incontinence. I would feel that I can pee at the drop of a hat, and that was very uncomfortable for me. मैं छींकती थी, I would cross my legs. How can this happen? And and we'll talk about this, I decided I cannot go through this anymore, and we started working on it. Vaginal dryness, like I said, another very important stage for me, to ensure that my sex life, this is something that we are just don't talk about. Your estrogen levels decline so much, it does impact your sex life. It's very important for you, very important for your man. You have to ensure that you address this head on, because not a happy household, not a happy you, can impact things in the house in very different ways. Dry skin,
Relationships.
hair, nails, happening to me, happen to all of us and most of us. I think that's one of the first things that we start seeing. It starts impacting our hair. Like I said, my acne, my hair fall, it was all very prominent. Frozen shoulder, I won't take it away. Swati went through hell with this, and she can talk about it. And then breast tenderness, I mean, I still feel I have some breast tenderness even though I'm working on it. So these symptoms are really not driven just by age, just by something you did. It is a significant decline in this perimenopausal and menopausal journey in the two key hormones that you have, estrogen and progesterone. And we've not even spoken about testosterone as yet. These impact your lifestyle changes. And going further, I'll transfer it to Swati, who can give more enlightenment to her journey, how it impacted, and what are the future solutions that we have.
Thank you, Reshma. Welcome, ladies. So Reshma did talk about a lot of symptoms. Lekin, I just want to clarify that whatever we have listed here in the slides is not the only symptoms, because just so you know, कि perimenopause, menopause में, there are more than 40 plus symptoms that have been identified by people already. So there can be something that you're going through, but you are not sure if it is just you. So it can be perimenopause and menopause. जैसे frozen shoulder, it was not a known fact earlier. मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि the frozen shoulder can be connected to perimenopause, and I was not able to sleep on one side for like 6 months. And the doctors did not tell us that, okay, it can be, they will send you to physical therapy, chiropractor. लेकिन that is just a temporary fix. The inflammation that is happening in your body, तो क्या होता है पेरीमेनोपॉज मेनोपॉज में आपकी ईस्ट्रोजन डिक्लाइन हो जाती है. ईच सेल्स, बॉडी सेल्स में जो इन्फ्लेमेशन होती है, दैट स्टार्ट्स कॉजिंग ऑल द प्रॉब्लम्स. सो लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट्स, जैसा रेशमा ने ऑलरेडी टच्ड अपॉन. कैन वी हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज. सो लॉन्ग टर्म हेल्थ इम्पैक्ट्स तो क्या है, बहुत लोगों को सिम्टम्स होते हैं एंड मेनी पीपल मे नॉट हैव दीज सिम्टम्स, बट व्हाट वी हैव टू पे अटेंशन इज टू, सिम्टम्स हो रहे हैं या नहीं हो रहे हैं, या सिम्टम्स हो रहे थे अब स्टॉप हो गए हैं, डज नॉट मीन दैट यू आर ओवर मेनोपॉज. सो इफ एस यू विल सी ऑन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड कि अगर आपके सिम्टम्स बंद हो गए हैं, डजंट मीन दैट यू आर इन perfect health now, because what happens perimenopause में estrogen fluctuates, it goes up and down, और तब आपके symptoms बहुत wild होते हैं. but after you hit menopause, जब आपके periods completely बंद हो जाते हैं, तो the estrogen, the hormones, progesterone, everything stays at a very low, and it stays like that for the rest of your life. So क्या होता है कि that starts causing long term health impacts, जैसे bone health. So धीरे धीरे you will be at risk of osteopenia, osteoporosis, and once you have osteoporosis, इतने fragile हो जाते हैं bone कि any small impact can, turn into a bone fracture and all. So cardiovascular disease is also the same thing. As you hit menopause, आपके symptoms may decline, and you may start feeling a little better than what you were feeling in perimenopause, because up down में, लेकिन you are still, now you are at bigger risk of getting this bone loss, this muscle loss, cardiovascular disease. जो हमारे arteries हैं सारे tight होने शुरू हो जाते हैं और उसमें plaque build होना शुरू होता है. तो क्या होता है, you will find out after 7 to 8 years that you are developing cardiovascular disease, you are developing sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle. If you have noticed, our older generation जिनको estrogen support और ये सब नहीं मिला था, suddenly they start aging very fast. Brain health, you start becoming at risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. So brain fog is something that is temporary कि आप immediately भूल रहे हो, but धीरे धीरे it is an onset of long term brain health and metabolic changes, जैसे suddenly your biomarkers start going up. आपकी पूरी लाइफ में आपको कभी कोलेस्ट्रॉल और ब्लड प्रेशर और शुगर की प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुई, and you have a balanced life and you do all the things that you should be doing, फिर भी आपको suddenly पता चलेगा कि your cholesterol is going high and you're doing everything. So all these biomarkers is also impacted due to perimenopause and menopause. And then the most important and the last one that no one talks about is the sexual health and pelvic health. जैसे रेशमा ने already touch upon किया, incontinence. Incontinence is the urgency to go pee. So the muscle starts weakening. If you are experiencing this at 45, imagine what is going to happen 10 years down the line. So basically, your muscles will decline even more, and the urge to pee or the UTI, these incidents will become more frequent. So what we need to do is we have to do everything at the same time, meaning there will be exercise, there will be certain things, but then hormones play a very important role, which we'll talk about in the next slides. Lekin, when we talk about sexual health and pelvic health, some women have organ prolapse. That also is connected to perimenopause and menopause. And when we see that we have all these problems understood, abhi kya kare iske liye? So in the next slide, we will talk about what can we do. So even though you have not been very health conscious, very active about yourself in your early young years. So it's okay because we have the advantage of estrogen and all the essential hormones of our body. But this is a time start taking your life seriously. Nutrition is very important. Jisme we have to focus a lot on protein and fiber and vitamin D. So अपना Indian meal है that is a lot of carbs and less protein and fiber. Sabzi dal and chicken and all is the smaller portion, and the carb takes the bigger portion. We have to reverse that. We have to start having more salad, more protein and vitamins in our diet, and reduce the carb because it's also a form of sugar. So nutrition may reducing sugar, increasing protein and fiber is key. And fiber is something so important, and it becomes even more important in this life क्योंकि पेरीमेनोपॉज में हमारा गट माइक्रोबायोम भी डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, तो सडनली आपको ब्लोटिंग होगी, कॉन्स्टिपेशन होगा, ऑल दीज थिंग्स। अगर आप फाइबर बढ़ाएंगे, एंड फाइबर का सबसे इजी एंड my gold standard is, if you don't have anything, just take isabgol, mix a spoonful and take it. It will change the life that you are struggling through perimenopause and menopause. It will really help you with everyday motion and all, and physical activity, even if we don't have that much time, because I know as women we are taking care of our house, our kids, our office, everything. लेकिन find time for your physical activity. जब भी time मिले, थोड़ा walk करो, थोड़ा strength training करो, starting to keep yourself first, क्योंकि if we ignore all this and keep everything else in front of us, it is going to impact in the next 5, 10 years of our life. So, this is the time we take charge of our health and prioritize our nutrition, physical activity, and then comes stress management. When we say, it's very easy to say, oh, manage your stress and all, but सबकी लाइफ में स्ट्रेस इज कांस्टेंट, कभी कम कभी ज्यादा. It can be work related, it can be household related. Simple things like journaling, breath work, these things also help, because perimenopause or menopause mein hamari anxiety is through the roof because of the decline in the estrogen. Suddenly we feel stressed and anxious about everything, and हमको लगता है कि this is a part of aging. It is a part of aging. The bigger part is the hormone changes. So the basic care that we needed when we were young is suddenly have to be elevated. Hamare nutrition has to be elevated. Hamara physical activity has to be elevated. Stress management ko humko bahut seriously lena hai. Taking a walk outside in the nature gets you your physical activity, plus it also lowers your cortisol levels. Stress management ke liye bahut helpful hota hai. And then comes in supplement. No matter how much we try to put everything in our diet, we try our best ki sub balanced diet ho, protein ho, fiber ho, this and that ho, but we will still have some gaps in our diet, and that is where the supplements come in. So omega 3, vitamin D, K2, probiotic, these are very very helpful things. Isko humko ek routine mein involve karna padega. And as I said, you have to prioritize it. अभी तक अगर हमने कभी नहीं किया है, so this is the time that we need to make it a priority. And magnesium, I'm a big fan. I have recommended to a lot of my friends, and they all started getting benefit right from the second week. What magnesium is? The magnesium glycinate. So magnesium क्या होता है, जब हमारी बॉडी में स्ट्रेस होता है तो मसल्स भी डिप्लीट करते हैं मैग्नीशियम. So it helps you calm, it helps you relax the muscles, it helps you sleep way better. Because sleep is something we struggle with in perimenopause and menopause, and magnesium glycinate is an easy fix. So I have been taking magnesium glycinate for I think 2 years, and जब से मैंने लेना शुरू किया है, I am sleeping so much better. अगर आपकी sleep disrupted नहीं होगी ना, तो आपकी mornings will be different, आपका day will be different. So these are the things. I know it's not easy, and one thing at a time. ऐसा नहीं है कि you कल से मैं सब कुछ change करूंगी. Start making small changes, but the goal is to make all these four things a part of your life for the rest of your life, and you will thrive, I promise you. And of course, if you are smoking or consuming alcohol, try to keep it to a minimum. If possible, eliminate it from your life. And it's easy for me to say, but I know that some people enjoy doing it, but it will drastically change the quality of your life. So in the next slide, we'll talk about a very important part of the menopause care. आप न्यूट्रिशन करें, एक्सरसाइज करें, स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट करें, सप्लीमेंट्स लें, लेकिन इफ यू आर नॉट डूइंग HRT, यू आर मिसिंग अ बिगेस्ट चंक. सो क्या होता है कि बिकॉज द ईस्ट्रोजन एंड प्रोजेस्टेरॉन इज डिक्लाइनिंग इन आवर बॉडी, तो सडनली हमको सारे सिम्टम्स होते हैं विच रेशमा एंड मी हैव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट, राइट फ्रॉम माइग्रेन टू brittle nails to brain fog to everything. So what is HRT? HRT is basically replacing the hormones that our body used to make before perimenopause and menopause. So it consists of basically estrogen and progesterone. And the HRT, the most safest time to take is कि अगर आपने menopause hit किया है 45 में, the best is to try and start it as early as possible, meaning 45, 46 में start करें. But even if you have hit menopause 5 years ago, it is still time for you to go to your doctor, talk about HRT, get your blood work done, and get yourself on estrogen and progesterone. Now, what does estrogen and progesterone do in menopause? It plays a very important role, क्योंकि जैसे ही आपके hormones body में वापस आते हैं ना, not just आपके symptoms better हो जाते हैं, it also protects you from all the long term diseases जैसे bone health, muscle loss, brain health. आपको अल्जाइमर्स की रिस्क, ऑटो इम्यून की रिस्क, हेयर, स्किन, बेली फैट, सब. एंड आई एम सेइंग दिस फ्रॉम माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस. सो ट्रस्ट मी, आई वाज इन अ वेरी बैड प्लेस. मैं ऑलमोस्ट डिसेबल थी. आई वाज नॉट एबल टू वॉक विदाउट पेन, नॉट एबल टू सिट विदाउट पेन. मेरा मस्कुलोस्केलेटल पेन वाज सो सिवियर. एंड कोई डॉक्टर मुझे ये कनेक्ट करके नहीं दे रहा था कि इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ पेरीमेनोपॉज, मेनोपॉज. दे केप्ट सेंडिंग मी टू physical therapy and nerve test and all these pain management. फिर when I came across the whole thing about perimenopause and menopause, I started listening to podcasts, reading books, and doing my research, and that led to so much clarity. And uske baad I understood the power of HRT, जो hormone replacement therapy है. And when I started taking hormones, so what I do is I take estrogen patches and I take progesterone pills. I can tell you, girls, that it has changed my life 360-degree. What I feel today and what I felt a year or 2 years ago was like totally different. The way my brain feels, the way my body feels, the way I sleep, the way I think, and ye fatigue, lethargy, thakan, ye sab has become a thing of the past. And let me tell you, the sexual health, the vaginal health, everything started getting better. I never thought I will feel the same that I used to feel when I was 40 or 35. And trust me, you can. This is the healthy way of living. और जब हम HRT सुनते हैं ना, तो word is like, oh, what is hormone therapy? They are very simple techniques. There's small patches and gels or creams. They're different. These hormones come in different forms. तो इंडिया में पैचेस इतने पॉपुलर नहीं है, बिकॉज क्या होता है कि वहां पे बहुत सारी ह्यूमिडिटी है, स्वेट है, तो पैचेस समटाइम्स यू स्लिप ऑफ फ्रॉम योर स्किन. Then they have gels and creams. They have oral tablets for progesterone, which is very important for your brain health, to calm your muscle, to get you good sleep. And there are also IUDs. So people get IUDs inserted. So they are good for 3 months or 3 years. That depends, okay, whatever your dose is. And there are sprays which you can just use it every day on your skin. And so the mode will be described by the doctors, and they will tell you how exactly it is done. It's not very difficult to do it, but it is a game changer. So I take care of my nutrition, diet, and everything. But until I started getting hormones, my brain and my sexual health and my musculoskeletal health did not start feeling better. So trust me, it's a full circle. So let's go on the next slide. So when we talk about HRT, so let's talk about what HRT is not. So HRT is not a magic pill. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने एक बार HRT लेना शुरू किया and then you don't do any exercise, you don't take care of any nutrition, because the healthy way of living is आपको शुगर कम करना है, न्यूट्रिशन पे ध्यान देना है. You have to move your body, because muscle strength and bone strength में HRT plays a very important role, but at the same time, you have to keep moving your body. Or it's not a magic pill that can overnight fix everything. But once you start taking it, you will know how it really, really changes your life. And there's one more important thing कि ऐसा नहीं है कि one size fits all. And that is where the specialist is needed कि वो आपके ब्लड वर्क करेंगे, आपके फैमिली हिस्ट्री को पता करेंगे, आपके सिम्टम्स को पता करेंगे, एंड लुकिंग एट योर ब्लड वर्क वेयर यू स्टैंड, आपके लिए एक HRT प्रिस्क्राइब होता है जिसके डोजेज कैन वेरी फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. एंड सम पीपल स्टार्ट फीलिंग बेटर फ्रॉम अ वेरी लो डोज. सम पीपल विल बी लाइक कि अरे मुझे तो कुछ फर्क नहीं हो रहा है, 1 महीने हो गए, 6-5 हफ्ते हो गए. देन शी हैज टू एडजस्ट योर डोज, शी हैज टू इंक्रीज द डोज, एंड देन यू विल सी द डिफरेंस. एंड सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, इट्स नॉट डेंजरस. हॉर्मोन सुनते ही पीपल आर लाइक, oh, hormones, I don't want to take hormones. Ladies, the thyroid pills that we take is also hormones. The contraceptive pills that we take is actually 10 times higher dose of HRT, and it's synthetic hormones. तो HRT जो है वो bioidentical hormones होता है. It's the same structure that our body used to have. So this is nothing uh, chemical or nothing like steroid or something that you are putting in your body. It is what your body and your cells were thriving on. So it's not dangerous, but it is not one size fits all. It has to be prescribed as per your body and your needs. So what it requires is personal assessment of a personal history. So when you go to the doctor, they will ask you a lot of questions, trust me, a lot of questions, but that helps them understand where you stand and what you need to feel better. And it has to be, so kya hota hai, once you start taking it, and they will have a follow up 2 mahine 3 mahine baad jaisa bhi, and then you tell them ki what is happening to you, and then accordingly they will adjust your dosage, and you will be at optimum. What happened to me was jab maine start kiya tha, within 6 weeks I was like, I feel the way I've never felt like in life last 5 years. इसका मतलब क्या है कि last 5 years से slowly my quality of life was declining, and I did not realize it did not happen overnight. And वैसा ही हुआ, once I started on HRT, slowly started getting better, and I'm like, I feel so much energy, I feel so much clarity, and so much less anxiety, so much calmness that I had not felt in the last 5 years. Same problem ko I am able to deal with so much more calmness. So let's go on the next slide, and we'll talk about the myths about menopause. So what are the very common myths जो जब women बोलती हैं, I don't have to worry about it anymore क्योंकि मुझे अब hot flashes नहीं होते हैं. So it doesn't mean that once your symptoms are over, you are over menopause. That's not the right thing. And also it's not something that you have to live with it. जैसे हमको बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं, हमारे एल्डरली बोलते हैं, हमारे डॉक्टर्स बोलते हैं कि ओ इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ एजिंग, अब तुमको ऐसे ही रहना है. You know why? Because all of us, we spend 1/3 of our life in menopause. 20 to 25 years easily we will live in menopause. We do not want to just survive, we want to thrive. And that's why we have to take care of our body. Or it's very weird because isi time pe we have to start facing a lot of other responsibilities also. हमारे बच्चे बड़े हो रहे हैं, they are moving to colleges, they are getting married, our parents are aging. We need more power in our brain, in our body, and we need to function better. Even at workplaces, जिनके साथ 20 साल का experience है, they are climbing up the ladders, they are going in executive roles. So their brain and body needs to function better. And आपको believe नहीं होगा, the data says that 1 in 5 women they quit their jobs because उनको ऐसा लगता है they are not able to perform the way they were able to perform 5 years ago because of the menopause. So ये सब myth है कि we have to live with this. No, you can change it and you can thrive it, and I'm experiencing it firsthand. So I want to spread the same wisdom for everybody else. And HRT is unsafe and it will give cancer, that is also a myth. So I have read so many books, and these books are written by cancer specialists and people who have a family history of cancer. These doctors are themselves taking HRT hormones, and they say very proudly that I'm going to take it for the rest of my life so I can thrive. It doesn't give cancer, it's a myth. And sex drive disappears after menopause. Yes, it is a myth. it doesn't have to be that way. You can live a healthy sexual life like you were living in your 30s before perimenopause hit your life. And then again, like I discussed, women who think who has no symptoms, they are over menopause and they don't need to go back. That's also a myth. And testosterone is not just a male hormone. Testosterone is also what we need in our bodies, and we can thrive on testosterone. And if the periods are still regular, doesn't mean that you're not in perimenopause. People say, I'm having these symptoms, but I still have my periods. So maybe it's not related to menopause. No, that's not true. You can have your periods regularly, but you can still be in perimenopause. So that's also a myth that we need to understand. So can we go on the next slide? Yes. And so we are coming to you, to India, with a solution. We will be starting our own menopause care clinic. This will be a ResetWell Plus portal, which will have doctors. And this will be telehealth. So you don't have to travel, you don't have to leave your home. You can get the comfort and the support right from your home. And you can get all your blood work done and everything. We are very excited. We will be launching soon. So just stay in touch. And so we can help you as soon as we get this established in India. And can we have the next slide, please? Yeah, I'm very excited that I am writing this book. It's almost done now, and you can be one of the founder readers. And I am like very happy that this is not like a typical medical book. It tells you how a regular woman, not being a doctor, can find out what is happening to your body. So can you. So it has experience, lived experience from me and many other women which I have met in my life. They can be friends and family, and how you can fix it and manage these symptoms from regular small daily activities to the proper science based help that is HRT. And everything, when it comes together, you can have a very happy and healthy life going on. And menopause is not the end of the life, it is the time of our next phase where we can thrive and our brain and body can work at optimum uh, you know, uh, capacity. So let me know. And I'm sure if you are part of our WhatsApp group, that's a community where we will start like Friday fundas every day. We will share a thought and then you can feel free to discuss, ask questions, and we will be more than happy to help and support you. And as I said, you can be one of the founder reviewers for the book and you can claim your free copy by that. And yeah, if there is any question that you want to ask or put in the chat, feel free to ask now, or you can ask in the WhatsApp group also.
And we are also going to have a quick short survey that we'll just send in the chat. If you can take that, that'll be extremely helpful for us. But if you have any questions or any thoughts, or even something that you're going through which you want to discuss with us, for me, initially, I was very confused. And like I said, when I spoke to Swati, it was like a eureka moment for me. Okay, bhai, this is perimenopause. I did not connect the dots. Honestly, even now, when I think of some of the symptoms, I did not connect the dots. So if there is something you're going through, you don't want to talk in this forum, that's fine.
It's
As
fine. Yeah.
Swati said, you can message us, you can talk to us, but we're really excited to get ResetWell Plus to India because this is both our personal journeys where
Yes.
we went through a lot, but we proactively found solutions because we didn't want to suffer. We really wanted to thrive, and more than anything else, get the awareness out there. Why not talk
Yeah.
about it?
And
Why
talk to your
not?
friends. You know what? I will highly encourage you to talk to your friends and family and tell them that don't think it is just you, because it is everybody. And follow us on Insta because we keep sharing tips and tricks and the upcoming events on Insta and Facebook. And WhatsApp group is a very key
Mhm.
thing that you can always send us personal messages also, and we will be more than happy to help you. And definitely share with your friends and family, because when you talk to their friends, it's so sad कि हमें ऐसी conditioning कर दी है ना कि हम अपनी बात अपने तक ही रखते हैं. हम सोचते हैं कि maybe it is. I also felt the same. 2-3 years ago, I thought it is just my problem, and my family life was totally disrupted. Every day complaining, मुझे यहाँ pain हो रहा है, मुझे वहाँ pain हो रहा है, मुझे गर्मी लग रही है, I cannot sleep. So husband start thinking कि मेरी wife बहुत complain करती है. So in the next webinar, we are trying to get all the husbands also to join with the wives. बिकॉज क्या होता है, पूरी आपकी लाइफ चेंज हो जाएगी एंड हस्बैंड्स विल अंडरस्टैंड बेटर कि दिस इज नॉट जस्ट देयर वाइफ, दिस इज ऑल द वुमेन इन मिड लाइफ. क्योंकि कोई बात ही नहीं करेगा अगर हम ही बात नहीं करेंगे. हाउ आर दे गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज हैपनिंग टू देम? सो this whole process is like a team building activity.
Yeah.
You and your husband should be in this together, so everybody can thrive together, and no complaints and happy life.
And actually, we've had in some cases, even some, I would say, women who bring their mothers or women who bring their daughters, just so that they can even understand what
Yes,
the family is going through as such and what
yes,
solutions are there. Sometimes they may not comprehend, and maybe a family person can comprehend कि क्या चल रहा है, हम क्या कर सकते हैं, कैसे कर सकते हैं. Because as Swati and I, we spoke कि why are people so averse to thinking of solutions for this? Menopause is not a disease. जैसे हमने बताया कि आपकी हॉर्मोन्स रिप्लेस हो रहे हैं, इसमें
yes.
आपकी कोई आप पिल नहीं ले रहे हो, आप मेडिकेशन नहीं ले रहे हो, सिर्फ रिप्लेस कर रहे हो जो
वेबिनार हो
आपने
रहा है, देखो
लूज किया है.
मेनोपॉज पे, जो
सो
मेरी
यू
फ्रेंड
रियली
निकी है
नॉट.
वो और एक और लेडी कंडक्टर,
आई एम सॉरी,
वो बुक भी लिखी है मेनोपॉज एंड मी,
आई एम हैविंग अ
मतलब
हार्ड टाइम हियरिंग
समथिंग.
यू.
Yeah, okay. So ladies, सबसे बड़ी बात क्या है? All the suffering in the menopause is half of us our fault. We accept it as conditioning, we accept it as aging, and we continue to suffer in that situation for the rest of 20-25 years of our life. That should not be normalized. So we have to first understand ki what is happening to us can be fixed. And I'm telling you from my experience and from all the friends who we have already helped. Reshma is one example, and she was like 2 weeks when she started this hormone. She's like, Swati, I already start feeling better, I sleep better, I feel better, my hair loss has improved, my incontinence. Because incontinence, ये जो urge होती है pee की, when you are laughing and sneezing and pee comes out, it is such an embarrassing thing.
Oh my god, big
Imagine,
time.
it is very embarrassing, and people think that ये सब उनकी problem है. It's not everybody's problem, and then they don't discuss it with anyone, and they don't even talk to their husbands, they don't even talk to their friends. And so half of the responsibility lies on our shoulders. We need to speak up, we need to get awareness. And सबसे sad part पता है क्या है? When I talk to my friends, some of them, they are going through all of this, but they still do not want to talk about menopause. So ladies, no one is coming to save you. If you do not take care of yourself, if you are not aware, if you don't want to learn and take action, no one will help you. And unfortunately, our moms and grandmothers, they do not have their privilege. And do not just take our word, like my word or Reshma's word. Now the world of information is at our fingertips. Go get your search done, in fact, and make yourself aware, and your surrounding, all your friends who are not aware, talk to them, ask them, and tell them about this menopause care. That, and we will be having these webinars every 2 weeks. We are trying to do this to create more and more awareness. And when we launch our menopause support care portal, then of course we will have the doctors at your fingertips and all the help that you need sitting at home. And when we start this, of course, we will have you as our first privileged uh, patients on the portal. So,
So, just want to leave with one thought that if you do have any questions, you are not able to get the answers even on the internet, reach out to us. We can guide you, we can help you, we can talk to you. Uh, don't downplay your symptoms, don't downplay what you're going through. Work towards getting better. And we really hope that we can make some difference. That's our passion. That's something we for ourselves did better, and we would really want other women to do better. So spread the word, follow us on ResetWell Plus, on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn. ask women to talk about it. If they do have questions, to reach out to us, and let's start a movement together to feel better and do
Yes.
well.
Yes, we can thrive together. And Reshma, we just have to mention the resetwellplus.com. Once you go there, you have an option to join the WhatsApp group,
Yep.
right? Clicking at the WhatsApp. So join our community, because that will be a safe community where you can talk. And every Friday, we will share something where you can interact with us and talk to us directly. And any upcoming events, any upcoming webinars for your friends and family, if you missed it today, if you joined late, no worries, we will do it again. And anytime, feel free to ask any questions. We will be more than happy to help you.
All right.